It's a privilege for me to be here today on I Believe in Miracles. And for the third season, for me to be on it, I don't know how it happened, but I thank God that I was invited to be here. This is the first episode, and as you can see, everything is all new and beautiful. And I want to say thank you to Mrs. Judith Roberts, for inviting me. We are going to talk about a special issue that I have really been affected by upon hearing just teeny weeny bit of it. And I believe that this is the time to glorify God in his highest esteem with what he has given to us to celebrate today. Before we go into the details, before I introduce to you your special guest, let me quickly say thank you to these amazing people for supporting this beautiful show on behalf of my friend, Mrs. Judith Roberts. And I want to say thank you to Elle Fittings Clothing for being part of this big events, big testimony, big miracles that we share by clothing our sister and making sure that the show is always running. Remember to visit them on their page on Facebook. They are located at Spintex Road opposite NS Chemist. We want to say thank you to Prestige Delicacies and Catering Services. Contact them for every special occasion when you need the most amazing bite to serve your guests. Properties Portfolio GH. We want to say thank you. If you need a special accommodation, special home, short stay, for permanent stay, contact them and get a place to live. How can we say thank you without calling the names of Captured by Jude Beatty for the great production, the great work you're doing, Perfect Frames Photography and Gig Studio. We'll be bringing you more thanks for those of you who are supporting, but for now, we will say a special thank you to all of you who made it in season 1 and 2, but this is a special testimony. We'll return after the break and I'll introduce my guest.
I Believe in Miracles is sponsored by Properties Portfolio GH, Prestige Delicacies, Elle Fittings Clothing, Nayok Makeup and Hair.
Welcome back to I Believe in Miracles, Season 3, the first episode. My name is Pastor Ekuba Yankee, and I'm sitting in for Judith Roberts. And before I introduce my guest, I want to quickly say a big thank you to Nana Asari Bidiakon Apia for your enormous support, for also Reverend and Mrs. Leonard Bright for your support. And thank you to ICGC Calvary Temple, and thank you to ICGC Perez Temple for all your prayers and support. In life, we go through a lot. Some of the times we ask several questions. People stand by and ask and wonder. And the reason why some will say, don't let our enemies ask, where is our God? But in the times that we go through things, as believers, we know that there is a God that rules in the affairs of men. I had a testimony before we came into the studio, and I was in awe. I realized that in the smiles of people, where we don't know how they are sweating under their skin, God is working. And my sister absolutely has been through things that will touch your life, will affect your life, that will let you see the power of God moving around us. Some have said that grace is like grass. We walk on them every day, and sometimes we forget to count what is under our feet. She is not my guest. I'm actually here for my sister, Mrs. Judith Beatty Roberts, because she has something to tell us that she cannot say alone. She would require us to be here. So welcome with us for the first episode of I Believe in Miracles Season 3. Thank you so much for bringing me here.
You're always welcome, Pastor.
I'm saying it like this because I don't want to say you are welcome, because this is your home and I've come to join you to share this amazing, I cannot say it's a story, to share this amazing experience that you've been through. And I now understand why I didn't want to know about it until I saw you face to face. I don't know how to start, but I know that you have experienced in a way that you would share it best to the people. let's start from 7 years ago when you had told me that you had delivered and I had met you and we had had our normal conversations and we had gone. What really happened?
Okay, so thank you again for accepting to be in my seat. I'm so grateful.
And be in the same dress.
And being in the same
That's
dress,
even a
of course. You
miracle.
are in the spirit, Ekuba. Well, before I narrate or tell my story, I'd like to say thank you first to God for giving me the opportunity to be here. I'm here by grace, and I'd like to say thank you to Him. I'd like to say thank you to my family. I'd like to say thank you to Reverend Nathaniel Roberts. I'd like to say thank you to... I told God I didn't want to cry because I have 3 more shows to record.
And I'm
So
hoping that after crying in our initial conversations, God can hold those tears for us.
Yeah, because I have 3 more shows to record. And thank you to Reverend and Mrs. Leonard Bright. Thank you to Reverend Dr. Anthony Gujo. Thank you to Prophet and Mrs. Amegaji. Thank you to Pastor Ben. Thank you to Pastor Divine. These individuals stood by me. They prayed with me. And I came through it by grace. So, young girl, always laughing. I got married, so excited. Every woman wants to get pregnant after wedding. So, exactly 3 months, I was blessed. God gave me the fruit of the womb. Fast forward, it was a smooth pregnancy. I was looking forward to the day of delivery. I was so excited. I had so much faith. Of course, I'm a pastor's wife. I know I was going to deliver like a Hebrew woman. We all Christians, we do say that. So I had so much faith. I got to the labor ward. I realized it was a different ball game. I pushed them. Baby was refusing to come out. I was given several injections, yet baby didn't come out. Finally, I requested for a CS because I felt I was exhausted. God has given us wisdom. Baby is not coming. I won't be there. I have to apply wisdom. So I was rushed to the theater. A CS was done. When baby came out, the umbilical cord had tied his legs up to his neck. I think captured by Jude, I have to give me tissue to wipe my tears.
Yeah, we need that. I think I
So-
was going to request that before, but
The umbilical cord had tied his legs to his neck, and that means if I had pushed, there was no way I could even push. It would take a miracle for baby to come out. So Dr.
even that was a
Churcher,
miracle for the decision to do the CS.
yeah, so Dr. Churcher was like, Pastor Nat, that was the wisest decision your wife took, and I know it was God. I know it was God. 6 months down the line, after delivering my first child, it was over and I was excited at giving birth. I conceived again 6 months after CS.
That was my first surprise at your testimony.
Yes, 6 months after CS, I got pregnant again. Mom was scared. I think I was still young and still naive. So when she was scared and she kept screaming, I was like, I'm pregnant again and you're screaming.
You're supposed to be excited
You're
about
supposed
it,
to be
but
excited.
it was too close.
It was too close. And she was like, did the doctors advise you after CS, you're supposed to wait for 2 years, you heal well? I was like, really? I didn't really know. And by God's grace, it wasn't that easy for the second baby. But fast down, 9 months came. I had this boldness, I had faith it was going to be smooth because the first CS was smooth. But when I got to the theater, it was different this time around. I
But
literally...
at least the pregnancy, you could go through the pregnancy.
Yes, I could.
With a normal.
Yes, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy sometimes, sitting in a vehicle, the pains, the discomfort. But God saw me through it. At the theater, I still have faith it was going to be smooth. Anesthesia was administered. The procedure was about to begin. But when the doctor began, I was feeling everything
You're
that
almost
was
alive. You could
yes,
experience everything that was happening.
yes. We didn't know what was happening. It's one of the best hospitals in Accra. The doctor was confused. Everyone was confused. At a point, I called on the name of Jesus. I screamed, Jesus. Immediately I screamed the name of Jesus. I heard a still small voice, be still. So I was still. I called one guy, held his hand. Hey, the procedure was ongoing. I was still because God said, be still. Finally, it was over. When I was being taken out of the theater, I heaved a sign of relief. I was like, God, thank you, I'm out of this place. I went back home. I was recovering so well. After 6 weeks, I realized I couldn't eat well. Anything I take wouldn't just go into my tummy. I thought it was normal. I thought I was stressed out. So I was like, oh, this will just be okay. I'll be fine. 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I was like, no, I'm not eating the way I should
You're
eat.
not feeling hungry.
No.
You were not.
No, if I take a spoon of rice, I'll be full. If I take a morsel of kenkey or banku, I'll be full. Just one, then I'm full. I'll just feel bloated. My tummy will be small, but all of a sudden you see it becoming big as if air was being inflated into my tummy. So I went back to the
And this
hospital.
is not something you had experienced before.
No,
This is,
no,
very new.
No, it's totally new. So I went back to the hospital. I reported it. Every test was conducted. Every scan was made, and everything was fine. Everything was perfect. So what's happening? From hospital to hospital to hospital, they didn't see anything, and I wasn't eating well. I was breastfeeding. I started reducing. I had grown so
Lean.
lean. When I delivered,
A spoon of rice.
yes, when I delivered, I was size 18. I dropped to size 8. I was so lean. I couldn't eat anything. At this point, I couldn't feel or I couldn't sense hunger anymore. Like, it's normal. You are there, you say, I'm hungry.
Yes, of course.
At this time, I couldn't feel hunger anymore. When I'm just there, the tummy would just be bloating. It would just be bloating as if air was being inflated inside. And I'll be screaming, I'll be shouting.
Was it painful?
It wasn't painful, but
it
was
was
feel
like
like your tummy was
filling a
becoming
balloon.
bigger and bigger, and you are scared. Your
I
tummy is
can
just going to
imagine,
burst open. That was the kind of feeling I was having. And pastors would be praying, my husband would be praying, I'll be screaming. All I have to do is to just take 2 tablets of paracetamol, and it will just calm down a bit.
The doctors didn't even know what to give you.
No, they
to
didn't
let
know.
that
They
subside.
didn't know. They didn't know. And test after test, nothing could be done. I couldn't eat. After a while, I couldn't take even the 1 spoon of rice or a muzzle of mango or kinky.
For that 6 months.
I had to rely on tea, Milo. The whole day still breastfeeding with Milo. At a point, the Milo too, I couldn't take it. The Milo too would not go. I'm still praying. I'm still going to the hospitals, and doctors wouldn't know what is wrong with me. I still couldn't feel that hunger.
You're still growing lean.
I'm still growing lean. I couldn't feel hungry, so I don't know if I'm hungry or not. All I'll see is my tummy is becoming bigger and bigger, as if it's about to burst. I'll be screaming. I couldn't take Milo anymore. It was getting serious. Now I had to drink water. One whole day, I couldn't even take a sachet of water, and I realized that now this thing is becoming serious.
How long did that go on for? At least the space of time that you had to rely on only on water.
When I got to the water was the whole day. When I realized I couldn't drink water, then I realized it was becoming serious. So my husband on Sunday came to me. I was with my parents, and he looked at me and he was like, do you remember Hezekiah? I said, yes. And the prophet told him he was going to die. I said, yes. Do you remember the prayer he You prayed to God? I said, yes. Go back to God. Tell him, I know you pray. Talk to God. Using Hezekiah. I said, okay. When you are done, we'll go back to the hospital. I said, okay. So I went back, I laid on my bed.
I think you should hold that thought.
Okay.
We will talk about how that changed your life,
Okay.
that challenge your husband threw at you,
Okay.
and whatever prayer you said. I need you to clean up
Okay.
a little bit,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we will continue.
Okay.
I know you've shed enough tears,
Okay.
and even what you've said is enough for people to know where we are heading towards and what you've been through,
Okay.
and they need to hear it loud and clear exactly how the miracle happened. We'll be right back.
I Believe in Miracles is sponsored by Properties Portfolio GH, Prestige Delicacies, Elle Fittings Clothing, Nayok Makeup and Hair.
Welcome back to our abrupt break. It was not meant to happen, but you know, if you've been following, what was happening was with a lot of tears. This is I Believe in Miracles, Season 3, the first episode, and I am here privileged to interview or to talk to Mrs. Judith Roberts about her testimony whilst talking about miracles and the miracles that she has herself experienced. And so we've been talking about it. It's being some gruesome is harsh, but if you were experiencing what she's been talking about, that's how far we've come. And how some transition happened is where we got to the challenge thrown at her by the husband.
Okay, so
to look up to Hezekiah. And
Okay.
what did you do?
Okay, so he asked me to pray because now I can't drink water, not even a sachet, one sachet water. I couldn't take sachet water.
But it doesn't mean you were not praying.
I was praying. I was
People
praying
were even praying with
people
you.
were praying
But
with
this
me.
was a special,
Yeah.
a special way to do it.
Yes, yes. So I went back to God. By God's grace, I give a lot. I build altars a lot. So I said, okay, I'll go back. Hezekiah made a list. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So I said, God, remember this in the church? I bought it. Remember that one? I bought it.
As a pastor's wife.
As a pastor's wife. Remember this one? I bought that one too. Remember the money I gave to this person and she was all happy? Have you forgotten? God, why am I going through this? You said with long life will you satisfy me. Hezekiah came to you with this list. I've come to you with my list. Give me a second chance. And I vow to give you my all. That was what I told God. So the next day, I've prayed the Hezekiah prayer as my husband said I should. And the next day, we went back to the hospital. After the prayer, I prayed. I went back to the hospital. I still couldn't drink water the next day. So I went back. I said, Doc, now I can't even drink water. All I feel is bloating, as if my tummy is about to burst open. I don't feel hungry. I don't sense I'm hungry. I'm not eating. He conducted a test again. The results came and he was like, I think you have ulcer. I was like, what? Seriously?
After a year.
After almost a year.
Going back and forth.
Back and forth.
Nobody could detect an ulcer.
Yes. Okay, if I have ulcer, what do I do? Give me the medication. And it was a simple medication you can just go to the drugstore and get. So I went over to the pharmacy, bought the drug. He asked me to take it morning, afternoon, and evening. So when I got home, I took the medicine. He told me, because I don't feel hungry or sense of hunger, he told me that anytime I felt my tummy was bloating or was becoming big, I should just eat. So when I went home, I took the drug, my tummy started bloating again. Remember, I couldn't take
water.
I couldn't take
you were
water.
on Milo.
I was on Milo. Even then, Milo had also given up. I wasn't eating. So I was hungry. I was not saying hungry, when my tummy was bloating.
You needed to eat something.
Needed to eat something. So they
Now,
gave me
what to
tea.
eat?
Tea. Tea was the first option. So they prepared tea and I drank. After 30 minutes, bloating,
So
tea.
you feeling it with tea.
So every 30 minutes now, I was just taking tea the whole day, throughout the night. Tea. every 30 minutes, tea.
You're still not feeling the hunger.
No.
But now the cause is that anytime you feel a bloated stomach or a bloating stomach, eat something.
Eat something. Then I'll just drink the tea. At a point, I realized the bloating was becoming intense. So now I know I have ulcer. Doctors say I have ulcer. So I just went to the net. I was like, okay, so what diet is suitable for me? Then I realized I had to take potatoes. Potatoes is very light. So I told my parents, I told my husband to get me potatoes, not the local potatoes,
the
Irish potatoes, that's lighter. So they got it for me. I still couldn't take anything, so I had to prepare light soup. So after the tea, I'll take the Irish potatoes with light soup. Okay, so that one was a bit heavier. So this time, instead of me doing the 30 minutes, it extended a bit to 1 hour. So after every hour, I'll experience the bloating, and I'll start screaming. When you hear me screaming and shouting, that means I'm calling for food. I'll be screaming, I'll be shouting.
And it's not that you're even feeling the hunger, but the stomach is bloating, and so you had to feel it.
I had to then you see everybody rushing. Everybody will be rushing, looking for food. Then I'll just quickly eat the food, then the tummy will calm down. So I realized it was every hour. So when it's almost getting to 1 hour, then my potatoes is beside me. I don't want to scream or shout. And I'll just eat my potatoes. Every hour, I'll eat my potatoes. Even at midnight, I'm eating my potatoes. 1 a.m., I'm eating my potatoes. When it gets finished, my mom, my husband will prepare the potatoes, put it beside me.
How long did you have to eat potatoes for?
I ate potatoes for 2 years. Potatoes in the morning, potatoes in the afternoon, and potatoes in the evening.
Didn't you crave for anything else?
I did. I cried. At a point when I'm about to eat potatoes, I'll ask God, why? Why? In the office, people are asking me, why potatoes? Everyday potatoes. I said, I'm on slimming course.
Because you had already grown lean.
Yeah, I had no choice. I said I'm on diet. Because sometimes when you're going through issues and you tell people your problem, some of them will rather rejoice. Yes, they will rejoice you are going through it. So I told them I'm on diet. And they saw me eating the potatoes, and I was eating it morning, afternoon, evening. Every hour I'll be eating the potatoes. So one day I was getting depressed. It affected my social life. I couldn't go anywhere because I couldn't feel the sense of hunger. I don't feel hungry. I only have to eat when my tummy starts bloating, getting bigger, and I'll start screaming. So the best thing is be at home. Weddings, parties, I stopped. One day I read in the Bible that John the Baptist lived on locusts and wild honey. That word hit me so hard. I remember that time I was so down, so depressed. Sometimes I'll be eating and I'll be crying. But when I saw that John the Baptist was eating locust with wild honey, oh my God, Jesus, I was the happiest lady that day.
It was better than potatoes.
It was.
You mean potatoes?
It's better. So I was like, God, if John, your beloved John, was eating a fly, me, Judith, I'm taking potatoes. And I think I'm way off better than John the Baptist. So immediately I saw that word. My God, that word carried me through. It carried me through for 7 years. From potatoes, I graduated to rice.
But then, the doctors, after giving you that medication, did not tell you to eat this or that. You did your own research.
Yes.
And at least found that potato could help you.
Yeah.
All that they said was anytime you felt the
bloating,
feed yourself with something.
Yeah.
Now the miracle is, how do I move from sticking to potatoes and having a normal life?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, that's all that we all deserve. To enjoy life above all things. That's what God wishes for us.
Once in a while, I do apply my faith. I just go and get some kenke or bango, but I realize it wouldn't go. I'll get wache, it wouldn't go. I'll get beans, it wouldn't go. So I'll just go back to the potatoes. And I ate potatoes, rice for 7 years. And I was a happy woman. I tell you, Kuba, I was a happy woman because I knew I was
John
better.
the Baptist encouraged you to at least accept that condition.
I was always laughing.
You were better off.
I wouldn't let that thing get me down. No, immediately I saw that John the Baptist was eating locusts. I was way better than John the Baptist. So I remember when God asked me to host I Believe in Miracles, I said, God, why? One, I don't even feel hungry. I don't, the sense of hunger, you haven't even done that.
And the bloating.
My pattern of eating is still the same. They are asking me to host I Believe in Miracles. I said, yes. At least I brought you out of the theater. Remember when you screamed, Jesus? I was there and I saved your life. Go ahead, host the show.
So all this happened before I Believe in Miracles happened.
Yes. So I was a little hesitant to start the show, but God said, host the show. So anytime I come, season 1, I interview all the guests with all the makeup, with my long lashes, with my red lipsticks at time. When I get back home, I clean those makeup, I sit on my bed and I cry. My husband will tell you, I'll cry. I'll tell God, will I ever have my miracle? Will I ever have my miracle? One day he picked me up from work, and when we got to one junction, I just screamed, I'm hungry. I was like, we are going home. I said, no, you didn't get it. I said, I'm hungry. I feel hungry. This is a miracle. To be hungry, it's a miracle.
It's now a privilege to be hungry.
Sometimes in life, we take everything for granted. But every single thing that we go through in life is just by God's grace. To be able to blink your eye is a miracle. To be able to swallow saliva is a miracle. To be able to hold this your phone is a miracle. To be able to feel hungry, it's a miracle. It is a miracle. That day when we go home, I sang all the praises. I went on my knees. I thank God because it just happened suddenly at the intercession. I'm hungry.
I'm not cutting you, but because you gave me a narration ahead of time, was the third pregnancy before you got hungry or after?
This is the second pregnancy. I'm still hosting the show.
Okay.
I don't feel hungry. I'm still believing God for my miracle. Now I'm hosting the show because he has delivered me in the theater. So that's also a miracle. So I still have to host the show. But I was believing God for more miracles because...
Well, the bloating was still going on and you were not feeling hungry.
Yes. So at that junction, suddenly, I felt hungry. I felt hungry for the first time. I felt
several years.
Hungry. That day I was the happiest lady. For the first time in so many years, I could say, I'm hungry. I want some food to eat, and I'll eat.
So what did you get?
With my same pattern of food.
What did you get to eat?
My pattern of food, either potatoes or rice. Then, so happily doing my show. We're done with season 1, done with season 2. Then I realized I was pregnant, almost to the tail end of season 2. I was like, God, why? You know I'm on medication. I've been taking medication. I'm on medication. And this medication, when you're pregnant, you can't take it. Look at my pattern of eating. And now you've given me a baby. God, why? I remember for 2 weeks I prayed at midnight, asking God to really think about this thing very well. The first 3 months was not easy. I remember Dr. Kujo asked me to talk to one pharmacist, Mr. Kofi. So I called him, he gave me the medication. So I called him, I was just literally crying on the phone that, Daddy, I don't know why God gave me this baby. Already I've cried to my spiritual fathers and mothers already. Now I've called Mr. Kofi, the pharmacist, and I'm also crying to Mr. Kofi. I don't know why.
In any case, that's not what you're asking for. You didn't ask for a miracle baby.
Yes.
You wanted healing.
I wanted healing.
To feel hungry and the bloating to stop.
Yes. And Mr. Kofi, I was like, Daddy, I can't eat. I can't do anything. I'm pregnant. I don't know if this baby will really come out. I don't know if I can carry this baby. That's what I said.
For it to even be normal child.
Yes. Then my spiritual mom and my mom asked me, don't you believe in miracles anymore? Don't you believe in miracles anymore? And I'll tell them, can I carry this pregnancy? But Mr. Kofi said something. He said, Judith, if God put this baby in there, whether you're on medication or not, this baby, you carry it. So he gave me another tablet to pick. Not for long, for just a week. So I picked that tablet for a week, and he asked me to stop. Now I have to stop the medication by faith. So one day I went to the kitchen, I just looked at the medication, I said to you, I won't take you. There's a baby here. It's not good for the baby. I won't take the medication. One morning I woke up and I didn't feel for potatoes, I didn't feel for rice. I told my husband I wanted to eat banku. He was like, really? Banku? Are you serious? You haven't eaten banku for 7 years. I said, yes, give me banku. He brought the banku, I ate it. We were all waiting patiently to see if something will happen. So after 1 hour, nothing happened. I was like, hey, you did eat the banku? I said, yes. The next day, I ordered for the same food. We ate. The next day, I ordered for a different meal. It was like, hey, are you sure? I said, yes. He brought it, I ate. I realized throughout the 9 months, I was not on medication. And I was eating so well. So well. I ate everything, including fried yam. So hard. I ate it all. God gave me God gave me double, as you said.
No bloating.
No bloating, nothing. I was eating beans. Also, people will tell you they don't eat beans. I eat beans and plantain in the morning. I'll eat it. In the afternoon, I'll eat akple. So I was, in fact...
You are calling for your menu.
Yeah. Then I realized that God indeed is a miracle working God. Suddenly. I don't know what happened. He just changed everything in my tummy. Something I'd gone through for 7 years. Everything just changed. He does work miracles. He really do.
Did you not, I mean, as a normal young lady, married, just as you gave birth, even with the experience at the theater and all that, did you want other children? Did you want more children?
No, I was okay with 2, but I guess God wanted to work a miracle, and he felt the best way to give me a miracle was to give me a third child. And that's why he showed himself strong.
Because I'm wondering, where we always say God works in mysterious ways, and he would choose how and how long. As much as he would always give you an escape route, he will not give you more than you can carry, more than you can bear. How weird can God work a bloating tummy, an ulcer, something that the doctors will describe, a non-feeling of hunger with a pregnancy?
That's why he's God.
Maybe you are satisfied with your 2 children.
Yeah.
You're looking for a miracle. You're asking God to let this bloating leave you, give you normal eating habits, lifestyle that everybody is enjoying. And then there is pregnancy whilst you're waiting for a miracle. So you have double for your trouble.
Yeah.
Was that enough to satisfy you, or something else happened during this?
Okay, so we are humans, so I was eating normally, I was excited, I was feeling hungry, I was excited, but I still had this fear. You know, the devil was giving me a playback, what happened with the second delivery, and I was living with this fear. When I was 7 months pregnant, the fear became so intense because I realized I've got 3 more months to go. So one morning I told my husband, you know what, should I tell the truth? I'm scared. If I had my way, I wish God would just give me a normal delivery. But to go back to the theater, back to the same... I was scared. I was so scared. I had prayed. I've done everything I can do. I was still scared. I spoke to my spiritual parents, mom and dad. They kept encouraging me. But I was still scared. And I was like, God, why am I still scared? When it was a month to delivery, I was very
intense,
scared. It was like, Jesus, who was going to the cross? It was like, if
this
God,
cup.
I could feel the weight. I was like, God, why am I scared? You have done this miracle. You perfect that which concerns. You have done it. You who have started, you end it. But why am I scared of going back to the theater? 2 weeks to time. You know, this one is a selective seal. I know when I'm going to deliver. I'm like, God, I'm still scared. I can't go to the theater scared. Because when I'm afraid, I empower the devil to work. But when I have faith, I empower angels to work and God to work.
You needed to get that fear out of you.
I needed to get that fear out of me. I couldn't go to the theater with fear. So I was in the office reading. Then I came across Ephesians, honor your father and your mother, that it will be well with you, that your days may be long, will be long. I always read that scripture, but that day, the Rhema, I got the Rhema. And God was like, I want you to sow all your salary to your parents. I was like, wow. I'm still
Expectant mother buying mother care.
Mother care. I'm still going to the mother care. I haven't gotten all my stuff yet. It's like, give your salary to your parents. I was like, God, I've not bought this. I've not bought that. We are yet to get this. We haven't done full payments. God, give your salary to your parents. I got down from the office. We are upstairs, so I went to the auditorium. I work in the church office.
The church office, yes.
I went to the auditorium, still sitting down, still battling with this word, give your salary to your parents. And I was like, okay, God, okay, when the salary comes, I've not been paid yet. Immediately I said I have not been paid yet, and I had an alert on my phone. PP.
There is the pay.
Our salary has landed. I was like, wow. I just told God my salary is not in, and now I have my salary on my phone, alerting me. So it's like, okay, so you have your salary now. So I went to the altar, I knelt down, and I prayed. Okay, you said I should give this to my parents, I'll do this. For the first time, I sow seeds, I build altars, but giving the entire thing at once, I haven't done. I've never done it. So I called my husband, he came to pick me up from work. I said, take me to the bank. I withdrew the money. I didn't tell him what I was
about to do.
No, I didn't. I said, take me to my parents' house. He took me. I got down with everything. Still, I kept mute. I didn't tell him. So when I got there, my parents was like, why? What is it? I was like, God says I should bring you my salary. I didn't tell them I was afraid. I said, God says I should bring you my salary. And they were, okay, they are my parents. So they were like, oh, Judith, everything will be fine. And God have already started this miracle. He'll finish it well.
They've been with you throughout.
He has been with you throughout. You are eating well. God will not let you down. Just keep your money. I was like, no, take the salary. I went on my knees. My mom went on her knees. My dad went on his knees. They prayed. They both laid their hands on me. They prayed for their daughter. They prayed. My parents prayed their heart out. Immediately, I left my parents' house. Fear was gone. It will be well with me. So when the devil came with that thought, I said, devil,
you've been obedient.
I've been obedient. God says it will be well with me. I am going to the theater. I am coming back because he says it will be well with me. And to the glory of God, the third CS, first child CS, second child CS, the third was the smoothest. I sit here today 6 months after delivery, to the glory of God, share my testimony. God has done it for me. He is a miracle working God. I'm alive by his grace. And I'd like to say thank you. I thank him for everything.
I thought that after hearing it for the first time, hearing it again the second time wouldn't be this touch. I am highly allergic to medical details and people's medical experience. It makes me nervous. It's the same way when I go to a hospital. But you have been through something and God has showed himself strong. As you narrated it, I'm looking at 3, I'm looking at 7, and doing, I believe, in miracles and experiences. And the number 7 makes you feel how God works and how he likes to do his amazing miracles in numbers and make you know that it is perfected, it is done. There is a reason why you went through it, so that everybody would know that I am with you. And I believe that he's with us every time and everywhere. And I need you to look into the camera as you make us do all the time and tell them from the tears, from all the shouting, the human flesh is different from experiencing spiritual things. We just have to merge it, the unseen and the seen. And this is what people must learn at every point in time, and especially the words of God that spoke to you. So do your job and tell people about
this. Thank you, Pastor Ikuba. God works miracles. Whatever you are going through, the solution is in the Bible. Every single word in the Bible is for our healing, it's for strength, it's for deliverance, it's for breakthroughs. I don't know what your challenge is, but if God did it for me or has done it for me, He will certainly do it for you. My miracle was sudden. It was sudden. I could say for once in several years that I'm hungry. It's a miracle. I ate well normally again. It's a miracle. I believe in miracles, and I want you out there to believe in miracle. Don't give up. Don't give up. God has got your back.
Well, what else can I say? I actually wish we could end it here, but as her protocol demands, we still have to thank our sponsors and our supporters. What you've been through is amazing, and especially for me, starting this when you needed a miracle. Bible says when Job prayed for his friends, his miracle happened. His turnaround happened to him. His turning point happened to him. And we've seen in the Bible severally. Maybe when I come to Thy Word, My Lamp, I'll share that quickly. So let's quickly thank our supporters and sponsors, Elle Fittings Clothing. Remember to follow them. Go to their page on Facebook and also locate them on Spintex Road opposite NS Chemist. Prestige Delicacies and Catering Services for your sumptuous catering services wherever you need it. Funeral, weddings, any event, call on them and they'll give you that special diet that your audience or your guests will be happy for. Properties Portfolio Ghana or GH, we thank you for supporting. If you need a home, a well accommodation that will give you a home, go to them and find one. Captured by Jude Beatty for your production. We are very grateful for the great work you're doing. Perfect Frames Photography for your support, and also Geg Studio for all the frames and the pictures you give us. We want to say thank you to Nana Sarbedia Kwapia for supporting Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Bright. Thank you so much. ICGC Calvary Temple and ICGC Perez Temple. God bless you.
Sort out prayer ministries as
absolutely.
well.
You know them all, yes. So you should be.
I'd like to say thank you to them, and I'd like to say thank you to you. I'm not taking over, but
absolutely.
Thank you so much for accepting to do this.
I'm honored to be here.
God bless you.
When I heard the testimony, I knew that you couldn't have done this.
I know you are believing God for a miracle, and I can't wait for that
wedding. For many miracles.
The wedding bells will ring. Don't worry.
I want triple or quadruple for my trouble. So we'll be right back. This is the first episode for I Believe in Miracles Season 3, and I'm highly, highly honored to be here. I'll be back with Thy Word, Thy Lamp, and then that'll be it for today. Stay on, we'll be right back.
I Believe in Miracles is sponsored by Properties Portfolio GH, Prestige Delicacies, Elle Fittings Clothing, Nayok Makeup and Hair.
Welcome back. This is the first episode of I Believe in Miracles Season 3, and I'm grateful to be here with you. And I am sitting in for Mrs. Judith Roberts, and as demanded on the show, I'm supposed to give you an inspiration on Thy Word, My Lamp. And before I do that, I want to say a big thank you to Nayok Makeup for making us all look beautiful, for taking care of us throughout the seasons and this season too, and for continuing with us, for staying with us throughout the day. We are very grateful for your support. When it hurts so bad, a songwriter says, why don't you give it to Jesus? He says our strength is made perfect in our weakness, or his strength is made perfect in our weakness. When we are weak, then he is strong. He said we will not see it all clearly. We will see through a film darkly, but when it's all perfected, then we will see what he was trying to do with us and to do for us. We thank God for all that we go through all the time. But don't forget, we know that in the flesh, it is difficult to make the word come alive for us, to let us hold on to the word and know that it will happen to us as it has been stated in the word. But when we hold on to it, that is when we have life, because his word is fire, is life, and is alive in us all the time. Where else will you go? Ask yourself, what is the best option you can have or you have? God is the ultimate help. That is why the songwriter says, your word have I hidden in my heart that I will not sin against you. That is the way to go. He is our ultimate help, and all things will absolutely work together for your good. We thank God that he's always showing himself strong in our lives in every little thing that we do. And for the testimony we've heard today, let it be a lamp for your life. Season 3, episode 1 of I Believe in Miracles, and I have no option but to believe in miracles. You will be watching, and you'll be hearing, and you will be experiencing amazing things as the show goes on. I am privileged to be here with you today. Let's keep watching. Thanks for being part of our lives today.